Yesterday we looked at we went up to just do this. So. Yeah, that is what we looked at. So let me just go to my Excel. No, I don't even have access to Excel. Let me do this. We went up to example 3, or it was example 4. So what we are looking at, we are just looking at valuing. What we looked at yesterday was the valuation of the share of the equity share. That is what we are looking at. And we came up with a very simple example, a very simple formula, where we are saying if we want to know the market price of a share, we look at dividend divided by the rate of return. Oh, okay, we're about to start. We didn't start. I was just trying to give a recap of what we looked at yesterday. So we say that the basic formula to use is dividend divided by the rate of return. For example, if the dividend, the ex-div, the dividend is, say, 0.2 cents per share, you have the share price, which is basically at par or the book value of $1. Then you have a return of 10%. So we did actually say that the market price per share, the MPS, is going to be 0.2 dividends divided by 10%, which is 0.1, taking you to $2 per share, or 200 cents per share. We looked at two variables that determine the market price per share, that determine the market price of your share. We did say there are two things here. First thing would be the dividends. So if you have constant dividends, or better still, there is growth in the dividends, and the investors believe that there's going to be growth in the dividends, or it will be constant, the demand for those shares will certainly go up, because investors believe that at least their fruits of the investments should come from dividends. So having that understanding, it now propels them to buy more shares. So that is one factor or variable that can determine the market price per share. The second variable would be the rate of return. Because if the rate of return, for example, is maybe 15%, 10%, that is also going to propel the investor to buy shares, even when this company, it does not formally give dividends, because the investor, after buying the shares, if truly he wants dividends, he can still sell some of the shares on the secondary market and manufacture his own dividends. But even if he doesn't do that, he knows that the value, should I say the EPS, earnings per share, will increase. His shareholders' wealth will increase as long as the return is going up. Then we looked at CAMDIV and XDIV. From our own street analysis of CAMDIV, we did actually mention that CAMDIV factors in factors in the aspect of you getting dividends which you never worked for. So that if you are buying these shares, say today, and in the next 2 months they'll be declaring dividends, you'll be part of that sharing lot. You'll be part of those that will receive the dividends, even when you did not contribute to the profitability of this company which you have just bought some shares from. So what they will do, they will increase the purchase price of that particular share. So the MPS, the market price per share, will increase because they would have factored in dividends for the ones that you are going to get in the next 3 months and for the future. So that increases your MPS, and we called it CAMDIV. XDIV, it's the original. If I say XDIV market price per share, it is the original price which hasn't been diluted, or they haven't added anything to increase the market price because they are factored in dividends. No. So CAMDIV market price per share equals XDIV market price per share plus dividends. This is how we are getting the $1.4 per share, which Martha got confused, because we are saying the XDIV was 1.25. Then we added a 15, which was dividends, taking us to 1.4. So I've given a background of what we looked at, or a recap of what we looked at yesterday. So then today we continue with the same journey. So I saying in the examination, you'll only be asked to deal with a situation where a dividend has just been paid. I explained this. Actually, we ended here. Now we are going to the valuation of equity, non-constant dividends. At first, we're assuming that the dividends will be constant. But now, we are looking at a situation where the dividends are not constant. The arithmetic we looked at in the previous section was very simple, Adam. It even gives you confidence that the exam come as is as we are seeing it from Koshikata's perspective. Maybe not. But in practice, it is unlikely that the shareholders will be expecting constant dividends in the future. They usually be expecting them to change, hopefully to grow. But there are times when dividends will not be declared. There are a number of reasons. Maybe let me ask you this question. What comes into your mind if dividends are not being declared? You have bought shares and dividends are not being declared. What comes into your mind? Your wisdom is going to kill you one day. Wisdom is going to kill you one day. It's very, very true. Martha, unachampuka. Kaleza unachampuka. There are a number of reasons, guys. It's just like in a home. If in a home now you're having problems to pay certain day-to-day bills or demands. There are a number of reasons that could be happening. If you are failing to pay your child, you used to pay whenever she goes to school, to Kasisi or wherever, you would give her a 5,000. Then now, Rab, thank you so much, and my sincere condolences. Are you back? No, when you say sir again, Uzafilokaniza, we are talking about it. You know, what's Kambasa? Say Koskata. Are you student Kawe? Okay, when are you going back to Mazaboka? Okay. And I'm sure you submitted your assignment, huh? Martha, did you help? Okay. So, there are a number of reasons. If, say, for example, always memory peg these things to your home setup. Your home setup, you, Mrs. Yame, Otis gives you money to go and buy my pizza every now and then. You go every week, every 2 days, you are at Debonair's funding obesity. Mrs. Yame, I'm talking to you. So you go that side. Then all of a sudden, Otis Mzanga, I hope Samvera Otis. Mrs. Yame, I hope Samvera. Mrs. Yame, I hope Otis Samvera. I hope Samvera. Okay, you can speak. Then all of a sudden, Otis stops giving you money to go and buy those things, my pizza. Then my nephews, stubborn nephews, they realize that daddy now is not buying my pizza. What will be in the mind of my stubborn boys there at home? I always hear that noise. Would be that my parents, they do not have money. That's the first. So they are looking at it from their own view. And that is what sometimes you find the union people, they will look at it from that view, employees. So it could be that truly you are now having liquidity squeeze, like Coach Kata. Secondly, it could not be that true. It could be because you have set up that company, and this company wants to start your TV channel to start competing with your former employer. So you have now diverted the resources to your investments. You are not giving, because the moment you start now splashing funds that you become Dangote, it shows that you have no other investment plans for that money. So you rather give it back to the owners of the company. That's why I said that Martha, wisdom is like empire, one of these good days. She explained it so well. Hello? So now I know. Sometimes you unmute sometimes, because I don't want to feel like I'm talking to myself. At least one person should unmute as long as it's not noise. I'll feel like I'm alone, which is very unfair. So I'm saying the full dividend valuation model, which copes with any expected future stream of dividends, is what we'll be seeing now. We'll look at the different models. We'll look at the golden growth model. It says the market value of a share is the present value of future expected dividends discounted at the shareholder's required rate of return. So this model that we'll look at for now, it looks at different as whether it's non-constant dividends, it goes up, it goes down, it's going to look at that. Now, we are saying this will deal with any future dividend stream, including, of course, the simple situation in the previous section of constant dividends. So let's look at example 4. It says Movita PLC has in issue 0.5 shares and has just paid a dividend of 15 cents per share. Dividends are expected to remain constant. Shareholders' required rate of return is 12%. So, here, calculate the market value per share. If you see this question, it's similar to what we looked at, but we'll have to do this. Wait for my Excel to behave. Just wait for it to behave. Ndanaeloza. I'm sure now it's gonna work. If I go back there. We'll use this. You see, even it has stopped working, huh? My Excel. It doesn't even show on top. Let me do this, for example, for some reason.